Hey everyone, Phil here with an exclusive video. I'm actually not even streaming right now, but I'm noticing more and more over the course of today as I've been playing Dragon Age the Veilguard, as you'll see some animations of right here. People kept coming to my stream literally throughout the 3+ hours I was playing, asking me, what do you think? What are your impressions? What do you think? What are your impressions? And normally I would do a segment like this on my podcast, but I'm not doing a podcast tomorrow. I'm busy. So what I'd like to do is a little mini video here to give you my thoughts. So at this point, I am now around 4 hours into Dragon Age the Veilguard. I'm playing it on the PS5 Pro at 4K, 60 frames per second, the Pro Boost mode. It runs gorgeously on the PS5 Pro. I haven't had any issues whatsoever with the graphics. The effects are great. The frame rate is great. The detail is great. You know, it's just a gorgeous game on that setting specifically designed for the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't know about any other versions of the game. I'm just giving you my firsthand experience. As for the story, it's all right. Has a little bit of an action-packed intro that lasts about an hour. Then you get more into the meat of the game and what it's going to be, and there's a lot of talking and exposition, as there typically is at the beginning of an RPG. And then it throws you into some combat. It throws you into some very small dungeons, teaching you basic mechanics of combat and doing, you know, things like that. And it's fine, you know. It's not overly boring and slow moving, but it's also not too much action and you don't know what's going on. It's kind of a good balance so far. The combat, which I think is going to be a major source of contention for everyone. I'm playing a mage, and with the mage, your goal is to stay ranged like all the time. Keep hitting them with projectiles, charge up your special moves, use your special moves, use your teammates' abilities to slow or, you know, keep the enemies away while you're pelting them. And then when you have like a max mana blast, you blast them back with that. I have a few spells that like freeze all the enemies and stuff like that. It's fine. Okay? So, I mean, overall, graphics are good. Story is fine. Gameplay is fine. All right? You might notice I'm not really saying too much about, oh, I'm blown away by this or I hate this. And honestly, that's because that's kind of my opinion about the game right now. It's just kind of all right. There are some references to previous Dragon Age games. I've already run into a few different characters from the previous games. We've already run into one enemy type that's directly from the previous games. We just don't know exactly how it ties into the plot yet. So if you're the fan of the previous Dragon Age games and you're like, gee, I wonder if this is just like a reboot. It's not. It's definitely a continuation of the plot from the older ones. But you also don't seem to need to have too much prerequisite knowledge about the previous games to really jump into this one. It's not super confusing or anything like that. Easy. It's pretty straightforward. There's some puzzles. There's some hidden things. A lot of looting, just like any of these action-based RPGs. Don't expect it to be more like a turn-based RPG. You know, Dragon Age Origins allowed you to kind of freeze time and tell each teammate what to do. Well, yes, you can open up a big menu and you can tell each teammate, use this ability, but it's not as strategic as all that like it was back then. It's much more like Inquisition, where it's more action-based, and most of the time your teammates will be doing whatever they want, and then when they have an ability charged up, then you'll tell them, okay, you freeze the enemy, you hit the enemy with the second attack, that creates an explosion that does like big damage to everyone. And that's pretty much the extent of it so far. You know, I'm only 4 hours in. I'm going for like a frozen like ice / necromancer style build, and I'm only like 5 or 6 levels, so you can only pick one ability per level. So I'm I'm leveling up in that direction, getting there. The game on normal doesn't feel overly difficult, nor does it feel too easy, but I haven't really like died yet. I almost did, but I had an ability that if you're about to die, that basically you'll get one auto heal, so it saved me and I didn't die because of that. Bosses, there's been a couple, but nothing too major or crazy. I mean, to be honest, here, I mean, I'm trying to be as open as I can. It's just not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just kind of middle of the road for me. And it's funny because I had a viewer who's been playing it way more than me. You know, I'm only like 4 hours in, and they've been playing it all week. They're like 20 hours in, and they're like, yeah, I'm 20 hours in, and that's pretty much how I feel. Like, there's nothing bad. There's nothing great. It's just kind of an RPG. If you like Dragon Age, you'll probably like it a little more because it ties into previous plots and themes and some characters roll over. By the way, is it woke? Well, I'm 4 hours in. Nothing really has happened in that regard. There's been a couple dialogue choices where you can pick romance, and I didn't do it. Because, I mean, you're just starting your adventure. Why are you trying to mack it to everyone right away? It wouldn't even make sense. It's really stupid those options are in that early anyway. You know, I'm used to, like, a game like Mass Effect, right? in order to get to any kind of romance options, you've got to be into the story. You got to have had multiple dialogues with characters to unlock that kind of level of rapport. In this game, they just toss it right at the beginning. Oh, here it is. Well, I don't want to do it right away. It kind of reminds me of Baldur's Gate 3 was the same. It's so unrealistic. I feel like it's for people who just, they want the game to be a dating simulator rather than an RPG. And I guess that's fine if you want that. I don't give a shit. But the options have been there. I haven't paid attention to them. Nothing has been shoved down your throat so far. We know that these themes will be in the game at some point. But at this point early on, it's not a big deal. It's not in your face constantly. It feels like an action RPG. And that's really the best I can say. Like, I'm trying to represent it fairly. There's nothing in the game that's angering me or disappointing me. And there's nothing in the game that's exciting me. It's kind of like, it's all right. You know, if you're along for the ride, some people are saying it's between 30, 40 hours long. And you're just looking for a standard RPG that will finally continue the story of Dragon Age after being gone for 9 years, I guess it's going to be passable. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things will pick up later and I'll be excited, or maybe I won't. But these are just my early impressions. You know, some people are like, is it worth $70? I don't know. 4 hours in. Maybe at the end, if it's $40 and the end is great and everything, I'll be like, yeah, it was worth it, you know? But maybe I'll feel at the end it was just just all right. And it ain't worth all that time investment. I don't know. But that's my thoughts so far. I'm going to keep playing it. You know, we had a good stream today where attendance was decent. Support, you know, we hit the goal. So I think we're going to do another stream of it Thursday. And I'm sure my opinion will develop about the game over time. But my early experience, I mean, the most impressive thing is the graphics on the PS5 Pro. It's a super good looking game on PS5 Pro. Amazing detail, 60 frames at 4K. Yeah, they did a great job there. Outside of that, everything else is just all right. Okay? That is my first impressions, 4 hours in of Dragon Age the Veilguard. I hope that helped you make a decision for yourself. Thanks a lot, and more of that playthrough coming soon. So I'll see you for it then.